Hello everyone, what's up? And today, my first video ever, I'm going to analyze my own chess game that I played just half an hour ago against Siu Kriu from Indonesia. And this happens to be a very aggressive attacking game. Not a perfect game by any means, but I loved how I played in this game. And let's just jump right into it. So I was wide in the game, and I started with e4, the king's pawn opening. If you want any excitement in chess, you have to go with e4. Black replied with e5. I went for knight f3, and he went knight c6. Standard opening moves, and I went with d4 this game. I often play the move bishop to b5, which is the Lopez, but d4 is my another weapon of choice. It drags black into a mud battle of sorts, involving tactics in the middle game. It's a head-on-head confrontation to decide who comes out strong in the end game. So here black chose to take, which is the standard reply, of course, and I went for bishop to c4. So this would be called the Scotch gambit. Now here black played bishop to e7, which is a bit inaccurate in my opinion, because knight to f6 is the main move, I believe. With after knight to g5 and d5, white takes on d5 and queen to e7. Black has a slight edge in this position because bishop to e7, e2 and queen to e2 are both valid moves, but the pawn on d5 soon falls after that. So this is a kind of a risky gamble, but in this position, my opponent chose to play bishop to e7, and I offered him another pawn on c3. But my opponent was careful and he played d6, because if you take on c3, there's a trick here. Queen to d5 threatens mate, and after something like e6, you get checkmated very soon. And even if you don't play e6 and to defend the mate with knight to h6, which looks ugly, white just takes the knight, and after black castles, white retreats the bishop. Sorry. So this is another line, but of course white comes out on top on both of these. D6 is a very solid move, opening the line for his light squared bishop and making room for development. So in exchange, I got the center, a very strong center with two developed pieces and two pawns in fourth rank. Black played knight to f6, which is a standard move, trying to castle. I played knight to c3. Black castled here, and I went for h3. So in this position, it's a bit weird, but black has this move knight to e4 that he didn't play. So knight to e4 is a very easy chance at equalizing for black that white missed, that I missed. Because after knight to e4, I take on e4 with my knight, and black has this move d5. It evaporates white's center and gets a couple of pieces traded down very easily. So black did not play that, and he instead played h6. Also, me being kind of oblivious to the situation here, I went for a4, trying to stop any b5 ideas, although that wasn't really a threat. And black again missed knight takes e4, and he played h6. So, and I again being oblivious didn't stop the threat and played castles. Now here, that was the last chance. Black could have done anything about that, but he retreated knight to h7 with ideas of trading pieces on g5, I suppose. So white developed very normally here, and bishop to g5 was played by black. So I guess this was a bit dubious, because you don't just give up your bishop that easily like black did. So I took the bishop on g5, he took my knight with his knight, and I went for f4. Now f4 was last the last time black had a very easy chance to equalize the position after knight takes e4 again. Knight takes e4 and d5. But as it has been a recurring theme in this game, black did not play knight takes e4 and I was oblivious to it for the entirety of the game. So he went back with knight to h7, and I pushed on with the f5. I have ideas of playing f6 in the future if black allows it. Black immediately puts a stop to it by playing knight to f6 himself, and I went queen to f3. With ideas of moving my pieces to the king side and maybe having an attack of sorts. Black played on the queen side here. He went knight to a5, putting his knight on the edge. I just simply retreated my bishop and tucked it away in the corner. Black played rook to e8, which is a standard developing move, pressing my e4 pawn. Now e4 pawn, although is weak, but I believe I calculated precisely here, and I played queen to g3. Now queen to g3 with the basic threat of bishop takes h6. But black has this move knight to e4 here. Although knight to e4, as per my calculations, does not favor black very nicely, because after knight takes e4 and knight takes e4, rook takes e4, I have the move h6. Now, not bishop takes f6 because it simply leads to queen to f6, and black has no danger at all. But f6 is a very nice blow to black because he cannot take with the queen. The pawn is defended by the rook, and he cannot take with the pawn because the pawn is pinned to the king. Of course, he has to defend mate somehow. So if he has to go something like queen to f8, which is kind of ugly after pawn takes g7 and queen takes g7 and bishop takes f7. Black's position is very ugly. So even if he tries something like g6, I can simply go queen to g6 and mate him either on g7 or on f7. So obviously black was an 1800 player just like me. He was aware of these threats, and he did not capture on e4. Instead, after queen to g3, he escaped all these threats by playing king to f8. Now king to f8 gets rid of the pin on both these pawns. The king is no longer pinned, and he is a little bit safer, as black may imagine. Now I immediately took this opportunity to push e5 because this pawn was already falling, and e5 is a very strong move because it just pushes the center forward and threatens to play f6 and even e6 in some lines. Black took here on e5 to open some lines for himself, and I took back on with my pawn on e5. Now, one thing to notice in this game is that everything since my move queen to g3 has been a threat to black. Now, queen to g3 itself threatens bishop takes h6, and after the king moved, e5 threatens to take the knight, and after e takes d again threatens to win the knight on f6. Now this knight that has been moving to h7 and back to f6 and to h7 and to g5 again and again has maybe seen better days in its lifetime. And again, by my next move f6, I again threaten mate on g7. Now black obviously played g5, which in my opinion got rid of a few of the threats, because something like g takes f, I believe, falls to bishop takes h6, and after the king moves, I have e takes f6, and even if the knight takes this pawn, my rook is coming into the game, and black position is just falling apart. There's nothing to analyze here. So Here, obviously, my opponent played g5, which was kind of smart of him. But it is already too late for black, I believe. The advantage is plus 10 here. So there are multiple ways to win here. I went for the straightforward rook to d1, attacking his queen, cramping black even further. He sort of got to develop his bishop, but that bishop is pinned, so I don't really care. And I played bishop to c5 check here, uh, which is again a threat to black because it's a check. So black just moved out of the way to the only square, which is g8. And Here I played queen to d3, which is a double threat here because queen to d3 threatens queen takes d7, winning the bishop, and queen to g6, which threatens mate because after queen to, let's say the bishop moves to somewhere casual like bishop to c6. Queen to g6 threatens mate because obviously this is mate, and black cannot take because the pawn is pinned to the king. So here black found another resource that was maybe good for him. He played bishop to e6. He tried to save his bishop again, and at the same time defending mate because the queen, if now goes to g6, black simply captures it. So after bishop to e6, I played queen to e4. Now again with the threat of capturing his queen. When black saved the queen by playing queen to c8, I again finally played the move bishop to b1. Now bishop to b1 is a direct threat, but queen takes h7 mate, and there is nothing black can do here. His position just falls apart, I believe. Maybe he can give up material like playing bishop to f5, but there's nothing else he can do because knight to f8 falls to, I believe, bishop takes f8, and if black takes with the king, I just play queen to h8 with checkmate to follow soon. Alright, so in this position, black resigned because there was really nothing else he could do. He missed his chances to equalize in the game uh, around here after h6 because he could take the pawn and push for d5, and he missed this move several times. And also, I guess he played dubiously when he went knight to h7, trying to prematurely exchange his pieces in a very bad manner. So I guess that was the game. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and maybe this first video of mine becomes a part of a series of videos where I go on analyzing videos and rambling about stuff. Hope to see you guys again in the future. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.